Hey everybody, thank you for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariah, and today I'm having my my brother, who's obviously a superior being. He's going to be on here with me today. His name is Nick. So
known around the job site as Nicholas with the thicklest.
no, it's getting cut. I'm bleeping that out.
The guy actually said that. He was like, Nicholas. Alright. So, we got a few questions from the internet.
And we're going to tell a few stories.
You guys didn't really send that good questions.
Thanks for that.
Thanks a lot. We got political questions, that is not what we're doing.
No, sir. You guys don't want the smoke.
You guys don't want the smoke, dude?
We can
You don't want none of this? You ain't ready for this.
That's so pretty funny. Okay, go ahead.
So instead of ruining your afternoon, one of the questions we got was, who is my favorite friend of my sister's?
I love
Probably gonna be the one that's younger than me, which is all of them. And I think I'm just gonna say, you know who you are. It's Mariah's favorite too. So
mutual.
you know, it's our favorite.
I don't have a favorite.
First. She kind of.
All right, we're gonna get kind of serious with this first story too. We're gonna tell a story about when I got burned when I was little. Story number one of Nick trying to end my life. It started at a very, very young age.
I've tried several times to take her life.
We're gonna tell the stories today. He was unsuccessful.
As you can see, she can still breathe. Unfortunately, I did not succeed in my plans.
She's still here and breathing.
She has made several of herself. She has 3 kids to carry on her bloodline. I've failed.
Okay, you go ahead and start telling about when I got burned from what you remember of it. Because I was seriously, 18 months, 2 years old?
Yeah, like 2 years old.
Way little.
Less than 2, because the photos have the date.
Yeah, and I'll be attaching some photos to this so you guys can see. It was pretty sad.
Whenever my dad would boil water for macaroni and cheese or top ramen or anything like that, I used to open the stove door and I could stand on it while it's open and look
peeky
and watch the water boil. So I really liked doing that. And one time when we were doing that, the phone rang, so my dad went to go answer the phone, and in that same moment, Mariah decided to climb on the stove with me, which usually, I think it was just either me by myself or just her by herself, standing on we had never stood on the thing together, both of us at the same time on the stove door. So this time, the water already had gotten to a rolling boil.
And I remember that. I remember climbing up on the stove, and I can still see myself stirring it, and the wooden spoon, I would go down where it was hotter, and then I'd put my hands up higher where it was cooler, and I kept going up and down because I liked feeling how fast it would get hot on my hand and how fast it would get cool on my hand. And then I don't remember anything after that.
So you remember stirring it?
I do.
That time you got burned?
Yeah. I remember stirring it still clear as day, and I remember Dad going to answer the phone. I think that's how I know it was that traumatizing for me, because that's my earliest memory as a little kid. Yeah.
Because I remember already looking at it and you climbing on it, and then it just like right away fell. So I wonder if you were before, got off, I got on.
Something like that, just jimmied it out of the wall. But it burned a lot of my skin off. Dad said when he came over to pick me up, there was steam coming off my head. And when he wrapped the towel around me, my skin and hair started coming off onto the towel. So it was pretty traumatizing, but I'm super lucky because I didn't get any scarring from it really. I mean, I've got a pretty gnarly scar right there on my shoulder, and that's pretty much it. But I mean, if you've seen the pictures, my eyes were swollen and it burned my hair off and a bunch of my skin on my face, and no scars.
was bad. It was really bad.
So Nick, that was Nick's first failed attempt to get me out of the picture. That was it.
That was attempt one.
Ooh. Oh, sorry. Oh, I got rat claws.
Look good. We'll need stitches.
I'm gonna cut people with these. Okay, so now we're gonna switch gears a little bit from that super melancholy, serious story and go on to another question that someone sent in to me, Hermano.
I was asked, what are some of our favorite hobbies? I like to play the cello. I'm a little rusty, but I've played for a long time. Played since I was like 11,
Yeah.
since 6th grade. I like video games, especially Call of Duty Zombies. So fun. And obviously I love watching football. Those are my top three.
Who's your fave?
five
Who's your
favorite
fave team?
hobbies.
Damn, I don't know.
The Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Son.
Yeah, that's what's up. Then my favorite hobbies. Lately, I've been really getting into baking and cooking.
Getting baked.
I like to go on runs and work out a little bit. And I like to eat a lot of food and watch TV. And I've been really getting into doing makeup lately.
Especially making up stories. She's a big liar.
It's true. Okay, story number 2.
Okay, this one I thought was gonna for sure do it. Boiling water did not melt her.
So we thought, I've got a good plan here.
What
This
could be
next
more
one.
effective than 2,000 pounds of metal flying down the road at like 40 miles an hour, right?
It was
What
like
could be more
20,
effective
25.
than that?
Wayne's World, part-time. Excellent. All right, party on, bud.
Party on, Wayne.
All right, excellent. Okay, so picture this. 5 to 6 years old Mariah, which means 7 or 8 year old Nick.
Probably.
Back-
I think this was my dad who specifically said, if you're gonna kill anyone, do it before you're baptized. So I was like, I know who I'm gonna kill.
There's only 3 people I know in my life, and one of them really makes me mad.
One of them pisses me off.
So we're sitting there and we hear the tune of the ice cream man, ice cream truck coming around. Diddle did it, did it do. Okay, so then we go out there to get ice cream. Our dad gives us a couple bucks. We go out there. I pick out my Bart Simpson ice cream. Do you remember what you got?
I can't remember all what I got.
Got my Bart Simpson ice cream. Nick got his push pop, whatever he got. And so let me tell from my point of view. So I'm starting to cross the street now. And we'd been told plenty of times to look both ways before crossing the street, but I did not. And so I started walking down the street and I noticed my brother's not next to me. So I turn around and it was like slow-mo. Nick, come on. And Nick was just like frozen on the sidewalk. And then I'm like, what the Boo.
Boo! Slow motion Street Fighter.
I'm not playing when I tell you I remember that truck hitting me and I remember the sky.
I see trees of green, red roses too.
My shoes flew off my feet and I remember hitting the ground. I'm like, dang, Dad's gonna kill me.
I see skies of blue, clouds of white.
Dad rushing
I know
outside.
my dad's gonna whoop me tonight.
And I'm saying it to myself.
Why didn't I just die?
So that is just so
First thought, dude, I just got hit by that truck. It didn't finish me off, so my dad's gonna do it for sure. He's
I
killing
remember
me.
my dad came running out and he picked me up off the street. I was like, I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And Nick was like,
I was like, damn it. She's still
please
alive.
give me, please. Ambulance came and I did not get in trouble, thank goodness. And when I got home from the hospital, I remember that Nick had saved my
Saved the
Bart Simpson ice cream cone. By that point, it looked like he had a stroke.
Yeah, the eyeballs were down here.
But like Nick was like, "I saved your ice cream for you." I'm like, "Dang, thanks."
I gotta tell it from my point of view. though.
Okay, now tell
You
yours.
gotta hear both sides
Okay,
of the
okay.
story. Because, yeah, Dad says, look both ways before you cross the street. So we got our ice cream.
You
Now,
promised.
I remember Mariah running, just taking off, because we never got ice cream. Especially from the ice cream truck. So it was like, dude, this is a big deal. So she got her ice cream and took off running. And then I start crossing the street, and once I get past the ice cream truck, I see this blue like pickup truck just hauling it. And I like looked over at Mariah, and it looked like she was just running in place with her ice cream. And the street was just getting further and wider and wider. The sidewalk was getting further away, and she was just standing in the same spot. And I was frozen. I couldn't say anything. And then, boom! I was just like,
Skadoosh.
sandals went up in the air. I was just like, I remember she was in the, like, we were waiting for the ambulance, or the ambulance was already there. And like my cousins came over with their mom, Elaine, and Aaron and Justin came.
Oh, word.
And I was like, oh, can I spend the night? My
Hey,
dad-
I'm really sad. My sister almost died and stuff, and
My
like,
sister-
and like I might have to eat her ice cream. and She doesn't come home and stuff.
And I got to spend the night, so I was like,
All this just to spend the night at our cousin's house.
yeah, this is a sick, evil ploy. The thing is, no broken bones, nothing, just cuts and bruises. I fell on the playground and broke my collarbone. She got hit by a freaking truck.
And that car really was going pretty fast. I think it was going like 15 miles per hour at least.
No. The thing was, the speed limit on the street was 25 miles an hour, but everyone goes way faster than that on that road.
It was faster than that.
It had to have been. They were probably going like 35, 40.
So that God cares about me because this is 2 times now
Twice.
that I've
Tried to
cheated
kill
death
her.
and I still have my face intact. It's amazing. Okay. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Was that Jeffree Star?
Yes. Question number 2.
3.
Oh man, it's been a long recording.
Can't remember how to count.
Question number 3.
Numero 3. What advice would we give our high school self?
And I'm gonna go first and say that I would tell high school Mariah not to be such a people pleaser. I feel like I always was worried about what other people thought about me, and if I was hurting other people's feelings or making someone offended, which those are good things to care about. But anyways, that's even something I'm trying right now to unlearn, is to not be such a people pleaser and find that balance between being courteous but also still standing up for myself. So if I could talk to 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old Mariah, I would definitely tell her that.
I think I'd probably just tell myself to be more courageous. You know, like
Oh, that's good stuff.
whether it's sticking up for other people, sticking up for myself, you know, like standing up to, you know, teachers who are being jerks, stuff like that.
Not asking you to use the bathroom.
Not asking to use the bathroom.
Just
like,
going?
That's so stupid.
I would have absolutely loved
Just
that.
go to the bathroom when I need to. And boom, done. I think just a lot of things like that, and probably just to relax, enjoy high school. You know,
It's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not as big as a deal as you think it is. Like treat all the women at school like princesses.
This next story is a good one. This is the story
All
about
about how my life got flipped, turned
upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I tell you how we got jumped on our way home from school.
From Brown Junior High. Yay!
Okay, so you tell this story a lot better than I do. I'll just tell the parts that I remember.
So I must have been 14.
Yeah, 14,
Freshman in
15.
high school.
Yeah. And I was in 7th grade.
I had I grew like 6 inches over the summer.
Got skinny.
Got skinny. I was playing football. So I had to go pick up my sister from Brown Junior High School. And then we were
walk
always
home.
accompanied by our friend that lived across the street. And he would always walk home. He always was with his two friends.
It's okay.
He got tagged.
He tried really hard to hold it, and he was like this. He was like.
And so, I went to go pick them up, and when we were walking home, there was this huge crowd of kids following us the whole time.
And let me point out, it wasn't because of something we had done. It was the people that we were walking home with.
It was like
done something.
Yeah, our friend's friend had pissed someone off because they like stole his skateboard, and there was something about selling someone stickers, and
Just, oh my
there was
gosh.
something. One of them kids stinks.
It's yours. I just changed mine.
You grab yourself, Amy?
She's like, don't embarrass me. Oh, that's ripe.
She pooped. So they're following us, big group of people.
This was by association.
They're
really
they
blown.
were all middle school, junior high kids. And I kept hearing them say, don't hit the big N-word. So, don't hit the big sucker. That'll be my replacement word,
That's
substitute
good.
word.
Yeah, we're not direct quoting here.
Don't hit the big sucker.
But the cops were going up and down the street because they've been talking about it all day, like the school police or whatever.
Yeah.
We're going up and down the
People
street
knew.
following us because there was a big group of kids walking behind us.
It's all sorts of kids. Big
All
ones,
the
tall
kids.
ones, skinny ones, fat ones, wide ones. All
Ugly
of them.
ones?
Ugly ones. Handsome ones. And we walked all the way down Ash, and we were about to cross, was that Center?
Yeah.
Is it Center or Major, Center?
I think it was Center.
I think it was Center. So almost, into that
Almost
neighborhood
home.
with all the street names that are named after trees: Ash, Beech, Cedar, Dog, Elm, right? Dogwood.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then I hear now.
Oh
then-
my gosh. You like shoved me out of the way.
Yeah, I pushed you down the
Oh
street
my
pretty much.
gosh.
Like, run!
And I was like, oh my God.
She's like, oh.
And it was all a blur for me at that moment because I just looked back and all of a sudden I see all my friends getting beat up. And Nick and I. And somehow Nick and I are. It was freaking scary with the cops. Turn on freaking fast, dude.
So after I pushed her, I turn around. As soon as I turn around, there was a kid running at me. I remember he had a blue and red football jersey. I think it was the club football he was playing for. He had long dreads because I remember they were kind of flying in the wind while he was running, and he was running to deck me in the back of the head. And as soon as I turned around, stutter stop, turn around, and took off running the other way. One kid's, they're going back and forth, punching each other. One kid's on the floor getting his head beat into the concrete. Another kid, I think he was getting jumped by a few kids. And what's crazy is the kid that caused all the problems was at home because his house was before ours.
Dude.
So he was already at home. So they jumped a bunch of
He's
kids.
eating his after school snacks, turning on Nickelodeon. And we're all eating punches.
Yeah, dude, I saw everyone just getting the crap kicked out of them. And then before anything else
Probably
could happen, it's I turned
in a
around.
matter of
people
5 seconds.
Cops were already whoop whoop.
Yep.
They grabbed the kids that they could, and that was
And then
it.
we had to walk home with our friends all battered, and we were like, "Dude, are you guys okay?"
I'm okay. I was only getting my head smashed into the concrete.
That's not funny. It's super sad, but it was awful.
There was no time for anyone to defend any. You just had to defend yourself, and because before I could even do that, I just turned around, saw people getting beat up, cops, and then everyone ran.
Because those kids have been talking about it all day, so the school,
School was on
they
it.
knew. It was freaking wild, but that was the one and only
Nuts.
time that's ever happened to us. You better stop! You go ahead.
Well, I don't even know. You picked this topic.
Okay,
You didn't have to
I
explain
guess, okay. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is a piece of parental or marital or I guess life advice that we would give to our fellow viewers, our friends. Do you want to go ahead?
I mean, I hadn't really thought of one,
Okay.
but I guess I think the big one is to not compare yourself to anybody. Stop comparing yourself, unless it's someone you want to be. Compare yourself to the people that you want to be. Compare your marriages to the
Exactly what I
marriages
was gonna
that
say.
you want to. You should go first, dog.
Okay.
Suck.
Okay, go ahead.
Compare your marriage to the marriages you aspire to be or have as marriages like that.
Don't take advice from somebody if you don't want to be where they're at when you are their age.
It's just, I think that's a big thing because people try to compare kids. People try to give you advice about kids when it's like,
They'll
bro,
always put their 2 cents in no matter what.
yeah, like, dude, your kids are your kids. They're not gonna be. I'm not gonna raise my kids like your kids. I'm gonna
Yeah.
raise my kids how I think they need to be raised, and every kid's different. So, some kids learn to walk at a year old, and some don't walk till they're 2, and you know every kid's different. So when you sit there and compare, and you start thinking, oh, dude, maybe my kid's an idiot. It's like, that's not true. Maybe it could be. I mean, there's idiots out there, so someone's got idiot kids.
Not me.
Not me,
1, 2, 3,
dog.
not it.
1, 2, 3, done it. My kid's fine.
Nose goes.
I know she ain't done.
My kids are, they speak some sign language. You got something to say?
Say it with your chest. Don't compare yourself to others. Just compare yourself to yourself. Just get better every day. You know? And everyone's got their mistakes and the things they're not proud of, you know? So we're all on the same boat. No one's better than the other person.
Except I'm better than him.
Oh.
Some parental advice that I think can apply to anybody, whether you're a single parent or you have your partner, is to be the kind of person that you want your children to marry, in a sense. So I was talking about this last night. Let me explain. Okay.
Marry your children.
So when we are not that kind of white, not in this family. Okay. Like I try to look at myself and think, do I want Lydia to treat her husband how she sees me treat Ben? And I try to think, do I want my sons to marry a woman that is going to treat them how I treat their dad, type of thing? And then I'll ask the same thing to Ben. Do you want our daughter to marry somebody like you? Or do you want our sons to treat their future spouses like you treat me? And so I think that's like pretty solid. It can apply to any parent.
Which brings a thought to mind that I'd like to share now. How
Go ahead.
important it is to have a loving relationship that your children can see.
Healthy.
Healthy, loving relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Best way to show a girl that you love her is by loving her mother. That was not the piece of thing that came to mind, but it just came to mind now. The thing that originally came to mind was the first person that a girl's gonna love of the opposite sex is gonna be their dad. And the first person of the opposite sex that a boy's gonna love should be his mama. And so, you know, it's a big deal. Like, you know, my daughter's always gonna be, you know, gonna be my little girl, my little princess.
And you don't want her growing up with a man that doesn't treat her any less than how you treat her.
Exactly. Like
feel
that's
it.
the standard. You set the standard for your kids and what they're gonna look for in a relationship in life.
Appropriately.
I wanna kiss you all over
And
and over and again.
till the night closes easy. Oh dang, that was pretty good.
What's the matter? You know our breakfast?
Dude. Alright, this is our last story. We made a good one.
So I came home early from my mission, and I didn't tell anybody except for obviously my parents because they were going to come pick me up. And obviously I ended up going back out. After 8 months, I went back out and everything.
And he
was
served
awesome.
in the Puebla, Mexico.
Mexico, Puebla Sur. Mexico, Puebla South mission. So I came home early after 10 months. I came home early. And so my parents were the only ones that knew. And so they came and picked me up. And, you know, we drove home. I changed clothes and everything.
Oh, let me tell what my little intro. So at this same time, just about a week or two earlier, his debit card had stopped working, right?
Yeah.
So when he would email me, he asked me if I could Western Union him a couple bucks until his new debit card had got there to get like food and stuff.
Yeah, you know.
And
extra
Western
cash.
Union is like the universal like scamming, right? Like that's like if someone tells you to Western Union the money, it's usually like a scam. You know, like, oh, if you Western Union me $1,000, I'll send you $2,000.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, this is wild. Anyways, I don't remember if I sent him money or not. But anyways, so that was one thing that was like, you know, kind of like red flag, kind of scared me to add to this buildup. And then the second thing was that I didn't get an email from him the next week. And the third thing was when my dad texted me and asked if he could come pick me up. He wanted to go get ice cream. And I was like, dude, why are you pushing this? It was a school night. And I was like, I was like nervous. I was getting all hot and sweaty and like was nervous. Like I thought maybe he had talked about something serious. But anyways, I ended up going. So they came and they picked me up.
Yeah, and then another thing is too is like me and Mariah didn't like talk to each other for a few months before I left for Mexico.
Yeah.
And then like she didn't come see me like on my farewell or nothing, so I hadn't seen her for a long time since.
It's been
before.
a minute.
Yeah, it had been a while before I even left on my mission. And then yeah, so we go get into the van. I got into the very back like trunk of the Honda Odyssey, and I freaking laid down back in there, and they picked up Mariah, and then they were like, and I was like, have you heard anything from your brother?
Me not knowing that he's in the trunk.
Yeah, she had no idea I was home. No one had any idea because I didn't email anybody either. It was like I was going home, so I was like, okay.
Feeling
I
that.
didn't have time to email. I just, they got me my plane ticket and I left.
So my dad came and picked me up. My family came and picked me up. And we're on our way to Nielsen's Frozen Custard. And my dad says, have you heard from your brother? And I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that he didn't email me this week. Like, no, I haven't heard from Nick. And then I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I was already super scared that he was so adamant about coming to pick me up to get ice cream. And then he asked me if I've heard from my brother, and I'm like, oh no, I haven't. So then he gets real serious and he says, okay, because we're not supposed to tell anybody this yet, but nobody's heard from your brother or his companion, Elder Wilson, in like a week. And I just like started to cry and started to think of all the bad movies I've seen, like, oh my gosh, they're gonna overnight ship my brother's hands in the mail. They're gonna ask for money. He was already asking for money last week. That wasn't him. Someone hijacked his email.
It wasn't enough money. They killed him.
So, anyways, I was kind of freaking out. And then,
totally switched subjects almost immediately.
I was like,
haven't heard from your brother in over a week. He might be dead in Mexico. Oh, that's crazy.
oh my gosh, that's wild.
So,
like,
have you guys seen any new movies?
So, like-
She didn't even care.
I didn't give a
I
crap.
was sitting in the trunk like, dude, what the fast. Wow.
And so I'm standing up there ordering my ice cream. You're good. So I got up there and I'm ordering my ice cream, and then my dad's all, oh, I forgot my wallet. I'll be right back. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm like, dang, like, no one's
This
really heard
looks
from Nick,
delicious.
right? Then I don't even remember what happened. I just like turned around.
Yeah, he went and let me out of the trunk. I walked in.
He's like, yo, did you hear your sister didn't even freaking care, dude?
No, I was like, dude, what the heck? So I went, and something that's important is I have my head shaved while I was down in Mexico. It was hot. It was in the middle of the summer. This was like, by now it was September, but the weather's pretty similar to Las Vegas weather. And I get in line in the Nielsen's Custard, and my dad was like, trying to get you to take a selfie, I think, with him.
Oh,
and
that's
I was
right.
standing behind in the picture, and you still
I
had
was like,
no
this
idea I
is
was
so
standing
weird.
right
I
behind
remember
you.
that.
Yeah.
And then finally, I don't know how.
I think Dad was like, "Who's that?"
Yeah, finally. So I turned around and saw Nick, and I just started to cry because he really was alive, and I thought I was off the hook and stuff.
She was sad. She
I
didn't
was
get to keep
like,
my
don't get me to the stuff.
I don't get to keep the stuff.
And we
She
just
hugged me.
hugged.
I think everyone
I
thought
cried.
she was my girlfriend, and I was coming home from the military surprise thing. So it was kind of weird.
They didn't give us our ice cream for free. That was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I probably should have pretended I was in the I was working in the Lord's Army. That was pretty funny.
It was pretty good stuff. So now we remember that story. See, and I remember it being super emotional. And when I saw Nick, I was like, oh my gosh. But he remembers it as me not caring one iota that he possibly could have
Cool,
been.
Nick's dead. About time.
Well, cabron. All right, well, that's all the video we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed some quality content. We had fun making it, so that's really all that matters. We don't care about you guys. I'm just kidding.
True. Make sure you give a like and subscribe down at the bottom.
And if you liked our content,
and click the notifications so you can see whenever we whenever we upload a video, you can watch it.
and next time we want to do a little something else special. So hopefully we get that done soon. It's a surprise, and thanks for watching, guys.
Deuces.